Hey, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome to my channel. Today it's another no dies, no problem. So I am gonna make wonky rainbows with you guys. I grabbed poster board. This is from the Dollar Tree. I did see that they have small packs that are more manageable than the big sheets, but I wanted to use something that I thought anybody could get their hands on, even at their local supermarket. So ruler, pencil, poster board. I'm going to keep the supplies really simple today for the most part. So right now I am measuring out my rainbow because I want it to take up the majority of an A2 card front. So I'm making sure it's not bigger than 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm just measuring it out here and getting it to the height I wanted, and then getting a straight line at the bottom. And here I'm just keep going over my lines till I can find one to really like. So I'm sketching essentially. And then I'm going to go in and draw in the insides. Now this is a wonky rainbow, right? So I'm not trying to get perfect arches. In fact, I want the imperfections. I've been seeing this more and more as a trend in dies and, just in card design, and I absolutely love it. I love just funky little rainbows, ones with flowers, just different patterns and textures. So that's what we're doing today. So I've cut this into 4 pieces, and I am going to go ahead and number them 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm really just doing that so that I have an orientation of front and back. And then I grabbed my scraps. So I have a ton of scraps built up again. And it's time to use them. So I'm going to sort them all out. I kind of sorted them large, medium, and small. And I'm basically just doing that so that if I wanted to just cut like a bunch of small arcs of the rainbow or medium-sized ones out of different papers, then they're all sorted in a way that I can do that. So now I have my 3 stacks, and I'm just kind of lining things up, getting an idea about how big these pieces are compared to the paper scraps that I have, kind of figuring out what's going to work where. And yeah, it's all good. Okay, so get all that out of the way. I also want to show you, so this is just a standard 6 by 6 sheet of paper. If you want to bust your stash of 6 by 6 paper, this would be a great way to do it. So I think the easiest way would be to draw it out like I'm doing here. So we're basically filling out our rainbow again and laying these down. And so if the number's not showing, I don't want the number showing on any of them. So that's why I put the numbers on and had a front and back. So when I'm tracing them, I'll make sure I trace either all the ones with a number or all the ones without it. And then I'm erasing my pencil marks. So with pattern paper, depending on if it's double-sided or not, you might kind of be locked into a side. But with these, with a colored cardstock, you don't have to worry about that. So I wanted to make sure I had some just plain cardstock in the mix, and that way if I kind of got things, the front and backs confused, I had more options. Another thing I want to show you here is how you get just a big outline. So you can do the outline in lots of ways, but the first one I'm going to show you is a big, just general outline or backing for your rainbow. So I did this for all of my rainbows today. I think it made it so much easier when it came to assembly. So I could just put all the pieces onto that paper, and it helped me keep everything square and lined up. And I'm basically making myself ephemera. So, definitely been seeing rainbows like this all around, but I did see Lisa Mears do a Stamps for Life with a product they called Fold It, which I had never seen until watching her channel. Stamps of Life is just not a company I ever shop with, but they've been popping up more and more in my feed, and I really like Lisa a lot. And so I saw her work with a rainbow that's much like this. So if you think this is just not your jam, but you want a wonky rainbow, you might check out, I'll leave her video linked below. You might check out that die set. But this, this series is really designed to inspire those who don't have a lot of supplies, or even if you do, it's still just to kind of go outside the box. So one of the things I did was I cut that rainbow, and it wasn't a rainbow, sorry. I cut the cloud, and I just cut it a couple of different times. I didn't end up using it on my cards today. I am going to make 5 cards with these rainbows. But I was just putting it there just to show you, like, you could cut out a sun, you could cut out clouds, you can do anything you want. It's so much fun. I tell you what, I am getting a lot of crafty pleasure just coming up with my own designs, coming up with my own hacks for recreating things rather than buying them. Like that Stamps of Life die set is affordable, very affordable in my opinion, and extremely appealing. They have a couple of foldeds that are definitely on my wish list, but they're out of stock. So this way I could just make it the next day. That's pretty cool. So I'm grabbing a hole punch, and I'm just going to punch out some holes and kind of add some interest. You can do so much, which I'm going to show you guys today, just some of the ideas I had, but you could stamp on paper if you wanted particular stamps or images. You could add birds to go on top of the rainbows. I think that would be so cute to have a bird perched up there. You can just do whatever. I do stitching and ink blending in this video. You guys will see, hole punching. I even do some embossing, which I know takes a die cutting machine, but we'll get to that. So I am just outlining things again. And this time I chose to do it on this pink paper so it would show through for that green strip that I had done the hole punching on. Again, just giving it that backing really helps stabilize everything and make everything unified. So here I'm bringing in some ink, and I decided that I wanted to ink blend this one just a little around the edges. I think it would be so cute to do like a sun rays background with like rainbow colors. Oh, I need to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to ink blend sun rays, but they're going to come out in rainbow colors rather than all yellow. Yes. So yeah, even as I sit here and do the voiceover, the ideas just keep coming to me. I definitely recommend sitting down, especially if you have a bunch of scraps like I did, and make yourself some rainbows. So here's what I did. I set a 30-minute timer, and I gave myself 30 minutes to cut out rainbows, and I have a huge box of rainbows now. So they really don't take that long to cut. And before you know it, you'll have endless possibilities. So here's this one, and it's kind of plain, but that's the one I'm going to do the stitching around. And now here I'm going to show you just one more method about cutting backgrounds. So, you can vary how many arches are in your rainbow, how big your rainbows are. You're making the pattern, so you can make it any size you want. With this one, I did a smaller version, and I went ahead and cut out that smaller piece as well, so I just have this piece for my backing. And this is like, I think this is my favorite rainbow out of all of them, but it's hard. It's like children. You can't pick a favorite. That's just not right. So just laying these down. Now, I will agree that some children are easier to parent than others, but hey, that's life. All right, so I'm just going to trim up the ends a little bit. And we are going to embellish these. So, you know, they're cute like this, but they can be even better. So on this one I stitched. Oh, and I thought that just turned out so cute. And then I decided, well, you know, certainly not everyone has a sewing machine, nor do they want to maybe stitch on paper with it. So I wanted to show you this idea. I'm just using embroidery floss and my glue and laying the thread down that way. It adds such a cute texture. I just think these are so whimsical and fun. And that one is done. And this one, let's see, which one I'm going to do next? Oh, the one I really like. So I decided that for this one, I really wanted it to kind of have parts hanging down like a macrame wall hanging would have. So I run my glue all around the edge. And then I'm going to tie a knot a few times because I want it to really be pronounced. And hanging it off the edge. And if you don't want to get sticky fingers, you can use a tool like I'm using here to kind of help you line everything up. So for this end, you know, it takes a little more delicacy because my glue's still wet, but it all worked out. And I love this rainbow. It's my kind of patterns. It's just so fun and funky and boho. Ugh, love it. And then I brought in the stamp set. It is from Mama Elephant. It is old. I can't remember even what it's called, but you could use anything in your collection. I just wanted to pick like a simple sentiment that I could bend and kind of arch around. I thought that would be really fun accent to that solid piece. And I am going to do tone on tone. So I'm just going to stamp it in a slightly darker green so it really stands out. And then with each of these, I did go into that bottom arch and just kind of cut the inside out of that each time. So with this one, I did the stamping, and then I'm going to bring in a Copic marker, and I'm going to add some accents around the edges. I'm also going to use, and I even added some hearts, and here's where I'm adding the dots. So you guys, just let your creativity, just cut it loose and let it go. And I would love to hear if you guys make some wonky rainbows using this kind of DIY, then I would love to hear what kind of ideas you came up with. You could heat emboss, you could stencil. I mean, you could use alcohol inks, just whatever you like. You could do so many things to make some funky little rainbows. And I'm sure whoever gets them will truly enjoy it. They'll know it's handmade, and yeah, I'm sure it'll brighten someone's day. So right now I'm just playing around with different ideas, and I decide to use this cord on this one. And this tip is really nice in case your edges just aren't lining up the way you want them. It's a good way to disguise that. Okay, so on this one, I did emboss it with an embossing folder, which I know takes a die cutting machine. However, you can buy embossed paper. In fact, I'll show you a package here in a minute of one that I used for the wedding gown in my last No Dies, No Problem video when I made the dresses. So here it is. It's a tonic and it's pearlized and it's gorgeous. Anyways, you get like 5+ sheets. It's a good price. So, you know, there's options out there like that if you don't have a die cutting machine at all. If you do have a die cutting machine and embossing folders, though, again, another fun way to decorate these. These silver beads are from the Dollar Tree. You'll find it in their ribbon section. They usually have gold and silver. I know I used those in my last video as well. And I love this little rainbow. I love them all. They're so fun. So this is the last one that I'm going to kind of use my scissors to rough up the edges and just add some texture there. But that wasn't enough for me. So I brought in these sequins. These are from the Not Too Shabby shop. So typically when you place an order with Jamie, she'll send a bag of sequins, and they're flat and fun. And so I grabbed some of those because I thought they'd be about the right size to fit in this arch. Now, I certainly didn't space my glue out evenly, but it doesn't matter because I think it adds to the charm of this handmade ephemera piece. But I'm just creating a 3-color pattern. And this one's done. And it shines and it's just so cute. So now we're going to make some cards. Okay. I'm just using scraps still. All the scraps are on my desk and I'm determined to use some of them. So there's a lot of playing around here, but I tried to edit it out and make this video as concise as possible for you guys. I appreciate y'all watching me get crafty all the time. Thank you so much. I'm so honored that you share your time with me, and I'm so grateful. I hope it's time well spent. Okay, so I'm just gluing this to the strip, and then I'm just kind of playing around here. Sometimes when I don't want to measure and I have a band like that, I'll just bend it over the edges and then tear it. You guys probably know by now I like to tear paper. This side was a little rough, but you're tearing paper, right? I wasn't sure about this rainbow. Like, it was my least favorite at first, and then once I added those sequins, it just became so whimsical and so cute. You guys, you could bring in critters. I could see a little bear or something standing by this one, or a fox or a deer. You know, some woodland creature would be so cute by this really whimsical rainbow. So many ideas. So I used a piece of pattern paper to go behind, and then I'm using my Catherine Puller inks for my sentiments. I'm getting so much use of these inks because they're kind of like my VersaFine, where if I want to stamp and not use the stamp positioning tool, I don't have to worry with this ink. I know I'll get a good impression the first time. Whereas with other brands that I've got in my collection, I don't have that kind of reassurance. So definitely I'm loving that about my Catherine Puller inks. Major bonus. So now that card is complete. Isn't she darling? Okay, here's a clean and simple one for you guys. I'm just going to use the chisel end of my Copic here and make 3 lines. And now I'm just kind of deciding, and I do want them a little bit thicker and more broad so they really show up. And now I'm going to bring in some more Catherine Puller ink for my sentiment. And I'm just going to stamp it right underneath the rainbow. And I decide I want some splatter, so I'm bringing in my scribble sticks. Which, you guys, I made a mixed media video with these, and I haven't edited it yet. I was like, I don't know if they want to see mixed media, but I'm probably going to edit it and show it to you guys because I think scribble sticks are pretty amazing. And I like mixed media, so if you're interested in seeing my mixed media card video, let me know. I'll put it into the mix. All right, so I'm popping up this rainbow, and this clean and simple card design is done. This is such a go-to for me, doing these lined backgrounds with a Copic when I just want to make a fast card like this. So cute. Okay, so I stitched on a piece of paper for this card. Now I'm making a 5x7 with this card. I'm leaving my strings long, and I'm making 5x7 because when I turned it vertical like that, I was able to see more of the stitching, which I think if you're going to go through the trouble of stitching, you want to see it, right? So I opted for a 5x7, and honestly, I'm really loving 5x7 cards lately. So I don't have to worry about the stitches for these. Using the glue on the back, I can usually secure them quite well. So I don't always like double stitch backwards or something like that. And I really like how this card turned out. I think it's very special. For me, there's just always something extra special about taking that extra step and adding stitches to my work. And now that card is done. And then this little cutie. So I just had this random scrap, and I took it over and measured it up to see what size it was. And I just decided to make a 4x6 card. And I'll probably just put it in a 5x7 envelope with some goodies and call it a day. I'm not going to make any kind of special envelope for it. And I don't think it'll fit in the 6 3/4. In fact, I know it won't. So I will just put it in a 5x7 and it'll be fine. And this is the most simple card. I just used that one sheet of pattern paper, added a rainbow, and I was done. I might add more to it when I go to send it off. So this is the last card I'm making with you guys in this video, and it's pretty simple too. Again, I'm just taking scraps and I am layering them up. Sometimes I really like my pattern paper to go all the way across one edge but leaving a border on the other two. So like this is going to do, it's going to have a border on the top and the bottom but not on the sides. I like that look. I think this one would be great for a new baby. So on the inside, I might end up putting a sentiment that's like, welcome, little one, or something like that. I didn't tackle the insides of these cards today. I thought we had had enough, but I wanted to share this with you guys, and I hope you will make some wonky rainbows all of your own. They really are fun, and I'm just, like I said before, really enjoying just completely making my own ephemera and designs with paper and scissors and simplicity. There's something really invigorating about it, and I love the outcome so far. So we have dresses and rainbows. I'm not sure what I'll come up with next, but there will be at least 2 more videos in this series. So sweet. I like having a lot of love you cards. That's a sentiment I enjoy having in my stash. And this is the one I think would be so cute for a new baby. So let me know what you guys think down below. And this is my box that I have left over, lots of rainbows to make. I really appreciate your time and you watching, and I hope you have a really beautiful day. Bye.